Good evening. It's frequency and use. Yeah, I'm going to assume the answer is no. I haven't heard anybody on all day. Well, I don't know if all day is the answer, but this is K4PEW net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. In emergency traffic? Nope. If there was, you'd already be screaming your brains out. Net may be broken at any time for an emergency. We prefer you call 911 first, and you can tell us, and we can help you get along with whatever you have to do. Just tell us where you are and what your address is, actually, if that's what you need. Anyway, for information on that, you can go to YouTube right now and see the screen on my radio, and see me as well if you want to, or you can cover that up with a postage stamp on a small screen, it is. And that's it, just putting my call, K4PEW, into the search block. You can also go to where am I? Oh yeah, groups.io, and that's groups.io, and put in MJSS into the search block. You can sign up for our reminder system. It's all ham related stuff, but in this case it's reminders for our net as well as other nets, and to place to communicate with others, sell equipment, buy equipment, and ask technical questions. We've got about 200 people in there. Also, you can email me if you can't figure any of that out at k4pew@arrl.net. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Saturday and Wednesday night here on 146.415. We move on to other nets tonight. We started on 146.415 FM, and we're moving over to 446.415 FM, and then to 28.415 upper sideband, and then to 223.415 after that. Purpose of the net is to have fun. Figure out what you can hear, what you can't hear, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. Tell me if I'm doing something wrong. It's the easiest way to find out if you're doing something wrong is when somebody tells you. You don't always know when you're doing something wrong. But you can also figure out how well your station receives compared to others, particularly if you're tuned into the YouTube frequency. Not YouTube frequency, but tuned into the YouTube net on YouTube. Let's see. We're supposed to have fun. Yeah, okay. We want to make sure you remember about Sunday nights, 10 meter net, 8 o'clock. Keep moving around. 8 o'clock. 28.415, and then it's followed into FM on 10 meters, and then to C4 FM. That's handled very ably, but ably by Michael KM4 YRF, which has been doing it for, might be his 6th year of doing that, I think. But anyway, he's been doing it a long time, so he's pretty good at it. He's also good at filling in for me when I'm not here. Is there any other announcements? Unless you're all frozen to death or iced into death. We want to hear some ice stories tonight. Not nice stories, ice stories. But we'll move on from there. We're going to start this net number 1182. We'll be starting from the west, but first we're going to take people that are short on time, mobile, or first time check-in, so please come now. Well, that settles that. Nobody's out there. Well, probably been watching and nobody said anything or texted me, but I was on the wrong antenna. So I'm going to start right now by saying that here I am on the net. We started the net. This is K4PEW for net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Again, making a fool of myself, kind of. I should have checked that earlier, but I was kind of in a bad way before I got on that. Let's see. We're going to start with check-ins right now. This is K4PEW. And I've been streaming for whatever it is, for a minute or two, and all we have is audio for the last 30 seconds. But anyway, that's good. Doesn't matter. People short on time, mobile, or first time checking. See, everybody on YouTube caught that first part, but nobody on the air heard that first part. So that'll give you a clue. You got to check in on the thing. So nobody, first time user, short on time or mobile.
KN4 TJF. He's still without power. So please check him in.
Oh man, still with that. Holy crap! So I don't think you can get a battery to last that long. All right, we just had a check-in via KN4TJF, and that's Rick out in West Ashland City, and he's still without power out in his home. How long has he been without power, Mike?
Several days.
Yeah, I know how that feels. We had that same issue after the tornado here in where I live. Boy, that's awful. Wow. So how's he heating the home?
Well, they finally ran out of gas and everything for the generator, and they had to go to a hotel.
Well, I'm glad they could find a hotel room. Holy man. Yeah, that's the dilemma of a gas generator is that you have to have, like in this case, a week's worth of gas, whatever that is. Wow. Well, I'm sorry him and his family are going through that mess. I'd like to take it up in a motels are nice because people clean up after you. All right, well, very good. I'm sorry to hear about Rick, but I'm sure he's holding up okay and holed up in a hotel. Who else going to check in remote? First time check in or whatever? Before we start, anybody have any? Forget that. We're going to start taking check-ins from the west. Let's go now.
November 4, Delta Juliet Tango.
Well, obviously you have power, Don.
I tell you the truth, I must be in a special section of the county. We were the last people to lose power, like literally, like everybody around me was out except for my little section. And I was only out for 3.5 hours. We were the first people turned back on. I don't know how that works, but I'm not going to complain.
Huh. Yeah, they must have set that up while a person who worked for the utilities lived on your property.
It could have been, but I am not going to complain because, 3.5 hours because all my emergency preparedness plans just got destroyed that morning, and so I have to go out. I've learned, it was a learning experience. Luckily I didn't need it, but I found some holes in my plan I need to plug up, so I'll be spending the next couple weeks reviewing that and getting those squared away. But it was to a point where that if we were going to be long term without power, we were going to have to bug out.
Well, it's hard to prepare for I don't know how long Rick's been out of power, but it's hard to prepare a 5 or 6 day outage with fuel, food, and fuel and food would be the biggest issue.
Yeah, it is. Like normally around here, the roads are open in a day or two, unless you get treed in. Like my niece at Belmead, her apartment complex, she was literally treed in. Looked like a bomb went off down there. And she literally couldn't get out her front door. She couldn't drive anywhere because the parking lot was full of trees and just literally destroyed cars. Hers was untouched miraculously. But I saw I planned for really is like 3 days without power and heat. I must have lent my kerosene heater to somebody because it was not in my shop. Don't know where it went. So that's when I went into panic mode.
Yeah, there's only so many options. I mean, same way if you were depending upon your fireplace, you better have a couple of cords of wood, you know.
Yeah, I was kind of kicking myself in the butt for disconnecting that gas fireplace I had in the living room because I never used it, and the one time I needed it, lesson learned.
Yeah, that was the hole in your plan, I guess.
Yeah, and really the kerosene heater did me, and I've got my 88-year-old grandmother-in-law here, and I cannot, I can rough it out down to a certain temperature, but she's not going to do well once it gets down, in the 30s.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. No, there's probably people with a lot of woes. I know this was we didn't get out of the house for about 4 days just because our street and my drive. Well, my street was not. I hadn't been. I don't think it'd been plowed once, but it was a mess, and we just figured we'd stick it out here.
Now, they actually plowed my road. I'm shocked, but my problem is getting out of the driveway. It's still iced, and I don't have the equipment to clear said ice, so I won't be making any Amazon deliveries anytime soon because they won't come down my driveway because they won't be able to get back out.
Oh, I got you. Well, good. Anything else for the net?
That is it, Paul. Thanks for doing what you do. And I was watching the earlier video and I was like, that SWR looks a little odd. And oof.
Yeah, I was actually on a non-antenna. I forgot where the switch was, and that's why In fact, when I glanced over at it, I go, "Why is it doing that?" It never hit, like an idiot. It didn't hit me that it was something was up.
All right, you should always working, right? But, all right, brother. Enjoy yourself. Stay warm, man. 40JT.
Yeah, very good. I'll tell everybody my other woes later. But anyway, that was Don, N4D Delta Juliet Tango. That's just November 4 Delta Juliet Tango, and he's in the Bannock without power for just a few hours. Who else is west?
KG4ILV.
Yeah, you did you have an outage? I heard that Nashville had some serious problems.
It was out a day.
Oh, really? That long? See, I was surprised because we're over here in Wilson County. I expected us to be out for a while. It was only an hour and a half.
Oh, you were really lucky.
I know it. I don't know how we managed that. Like Don, I don't know how. But so you had for how long? 3.5 hours?
No, it was about a day. It was really cold that night.
Oh, I bet. Well, what was funny was I took a nap and I woke up. It was just very quickly, and I went, "Hey, man, there's no power in this room." And then I realized, and so I went out and looked at the electric clock I have plugged in. I go, "Okay." So I went back to sleep, and I figured I can't do any good until when the house no power. So later I woke up and all the power's back on, and I go look back at the clock, and I go, "Yep, there we go, hour and a half."
Yeah, I heard on the 6 o'clock news there's still 100,000 people without power.
Wow, I bet you they're not all in Nashville proper, are they?
I don't know. It's probably in this, just in this district. However, the electric grid, laid out. I don't know, but that's a lot of people in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, that's a terribly lot of people. Man, I feel bad for them because you have to have some place to go. And hopefully, I don't know what they did because I haven't kept track of it. Man, very good. Anything else for the net, Jack?
Nope. Thanks for doing what you do. The only thing I was going to add is I do have a bunch of big limbs down in my yard from my pine tree. Man, they came cracking down. It's like, please don't go through my new roof.
Oh, I know it. Believe me. Well, I'll tell everybody right now. We woke up that morning, which I guess was Saturday morning. I think it was. And heard this just horrendous noise. It sounded like a shotgun blast. And then something, I thought it hit the house, whatever it was. So, man, I was really sweating. And I went outside. A huge limb off the maple tree came slamming down. It actually grazed, and I mean just barely grazed the gutter, and then slammed down right at the base of my bedroom window.
Wow, you got really lucky.
Oh yeah, and then I had several other limbs. Another limb went crashing down through the. Two limbs actually came crashing down through my fence, and so I got a kind of a hole in my vinyl fence, and then. But anyway, the problem wasn't. That was really not a problem. None of it was. The power wasn't a problem. The problem was I spent the better part of 6 or 7 or 8 hours it was between me and the XYL, cutting up, me with the chainsaw and a saw, cutting up all the limbs and dragging them out to the street. And I'll get you guys a picture of that on the group. But must be at least a ton of stuff I got sitting out by the street right now.
Well, I'll let you see who else is out there. Thanks for doing that, Paul. KG4ILV.
Yeah, very good. That was Jack, KG4ILV, and here he's in Donaldson. Who else is where is he? Who else is west? I'm wondering if Charles has power. Nobody else west?
N0WIK.
Ah, very good. How are you doing, John?
Oh, doing fine, Paul. Doing fine. Just a little bit of storm damage. Some trees down in my yard, and we were without power here in this neighborhood about 33 hours.
Wow. You're still in Mount Juliet, though, aren't you? Or not?
No, I'm on the Davidson County side. I'm on the high rent district side, in the Hermitage area. The Wilson County line is 700 foot from my house. But our generator kicked in and went just fine.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I've still got some trees and bushes that are probably dead. I mean, I haven't even thawed out yet. But yeah, no, it's the tree damage is the biggest thing. I just drove over to through Lowe's and Walmart parking lot here in Mount Juliet, and a whole bunch of those trees. Well, it kind of looks like a tornado went through or a hurricane because the trees are almost dead. They're probably going to have to replant half of them.
Yeah, I was over at Lowe's too, and when they were covered with ice, they were all drooped down and the limbs were broken. So that's all for me, and I'll turn it back over to you. N0WIK.
Very good. That is John, November 0 Whiskey India Kilo, and he is in, like he said, in the high rent district, and right on the other side of the Davidson, the wall that Wilson County has up here between here and between us and Nashville. Who else is west or west? Yeah, just west. All right, over to the south.
Okay,
4 IDJ Kilo Romeo 4.
Yep. Okay, I got a double in there, but you win. And Echo, I'll get you in 1 second. How you doing, Tony? You survive everything? I mean, did you get less of a problem than others down there in Smyrna?
Of course, we're blessed. But no, my son got hit hard. He's up in Joelton, which is adjacent to Ashland City, I guess. And yeah, he's got zero power. Limbs actually brought down his power lines to his house. And he's sequestered in his old bedroom in our house now.
Oh, boy. And what's he doing for heat? And what's he doing for heat? That's the big question.
Well, he's not. We drained all the water and we turned off the breakers, and his house is just sitting there, dark, black, and empty.
Oh boy, what a mess that was. He's got to be hundreds, or if not thousands, that have the same problem he does.
Yeah, NES outage map shows close to 2,000 up in the Joelton area that don't have power.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's easy to blame the utility, but you can't blame. It's not them. They're working hard to get it all back up.
Yeah, and they posted on the HIP Joelton website. Somebody's been in contact with NES, and they said it will be 10 days to 2 weeks before they get to Joelton.
Holy crap. That doesn't sound. You think you'd bring in service crews from everywhere in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Alabama?
Well, they have, but now look at it this way. They say that it's going to take them 2 weeks, and they finish it in 4 days. They'll go, look what we did for you.
Well, I hope that's the case for all the people that are suffering right now. I can't imagine, because you can't even send kids to school. You can't do anything.
Well, there was one lady posted on HIP Joelton that could somebody bring her some gasoline because she was stuck in her driveway and they had no electricity, and they'd been sleeping in the car for 2 nights.
Oh boy. Well, I think that would be an option, sleeping in the car, if you had enough gas.
Yeah, well, it was her and her 2 kids, and they were sleeping in the car.
I think I hope this teaches us, everybody, a lesson. I mean, technically, I should have looked on the map or asked the city and the county where shelters were, and everybody should look. I mean, because this was an extraordinary event.
Yeah, anyway, people are waiting. Got to move on. KF4, KFQ.
Yeah, that was Tony. It is Tony. And it's KF4, KFQ, and he's in Smyrna. And his son is still without power. Wow. Yeah, up in Joelton. Joelton's problems in Joelton and Ashland City. Echo, I hear you in there. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I just had a little announcement about my nets. I am fully closing them off until I can reach a certain audience of people. I at least have to reach about one person. I'm most likely going to get a big 200-watt amplifier out in my shack because that arrived not too long ago. Once it's finished and all ready, I'm going to run some triple-digit power so that at least I can kind of sound clear.
Oh, triple digit. Is that 0.005 volts?
I mean, as in triple digits in watts. So I'm going to be running from 100 watts to 999, somewhere around that range.
On FM?
Yes, that is correct. But it's only for simplex. The repeaters I can only reach with about 10 watts or 50.
Yeah, I get it. But see, you don't really, if you have an antenna up in the air, you don't need, look at me, I'm working with 50 watts. That's it.
I'm working with 50 watts too, and I've got a pretty big antenna, but that didn't work out.
You mean, you don't have one. Well, you still have to have an antenna outside. I'm not sure where you're headed there.
Oh yeah, no, I have one close to the wall.
Yeah, no, I'm saying outside antenna. You just have to get it up in the air because you can have the best. You can have 500 watts, and all you're going to do is burn up what's around the antenna because if it's not high enough, its power is not going nowhere.
Alrighty. I may boost it down to about 100 watts. 100 watts, pretty high antenna, but for now the nets are closed.
Alrighty, let me know when you're going to fire them back up.
Alrighty, thank you very much. In K4PEW, I don't know if I could share something after the net with you, but I've got some pretty exciting news.
You can always text me. You know my text number.
I do not.
Well, you tried to contact me. I didn't get back to you because I forgot about it. You said, is this K4PEW?
Oh, so that was you. Yeah, I just thought that, I texted the wrong number.
No, you're doing fine. It just slipped my mind, and I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
Well, very good. Anything else for the net?
I'm good. Hope I'm 5'9" and over. You're 5'9" and over.
Well, you're 50 over to me.
Got it. Thank you. KR4IDJ73.
Yeah, very good. There's Echo with a big signal. And for the moment, his nets are down. He hopes to be back up soon with a little more power and I hope a better antenna placements. That's KR4, India, Delta, Juliet. Who else is south?
Kilo, India, 4, November, Delta, November.
Hey, how's your end holding up down there? Did you get hit hard?
No, we good down here, Paul. At least I am.
Oh, good. I was hoping you were spared because the remote areas are harder. Just like you heard about Ashland City and Joelton still without power.
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
Well, very good. Anything else for the net, Larry?
No, I'm done. KE4SYB.
Very good. That's Kilo Echo 4 SY. I can't even read my own writing here. And he's in Rockville. That's Larry in Rockville. He also does the D-Star net on Saturday nights at 7:15 sharp on 146.460 Simplex. So if you can, be there or tell your friends to be there. Who else is south?
Kilo, India, 4, November, Delta, November.
Well, you must have survived the mess, did you? David?
Hello there, Mr. Paul. I did barely. I barely survived, and I thought I'd better get out here and key this mic and burn a little bit of that ice off this antenna, huh?
Oh, yeah, I'm telling you. I did lose my big loop antenna, but I'll get it back up. I had a half wave 160 antenna up, but the storm took it down.
I imagine a whole bunch of antennas went down through this ordeal for sure. Larry had an awful good signal, and he bumped in there right over the top of me. I was surprised.
Yeah, no, he sounded pretty good to me too. In fact, when he came up, at first I thought he was you, just because you have a similar. He had a signal strength similar to yours.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he sounded really good there. How you doing, Mr. Ball? Hadn't spoken to you in a while.
Yeah, it's funny you checked in tonight because earlier today I was wondering. I haven't heard from David. Maybe I need to call him.
Well, I'd look forward to the call. I bet you don't have my number.
I think I do. I'll check in a minute. But if I don't, I will get back to you.
Okay, very good. Well, anyway, thank you for what you do, sir, and 7-3 to everybody on this net. Thanks a lot, Paul. 7-3, KI4ND in Christiana.
That was David in Christiana, KI4 November, Delta November. Who else is south or east? Oh, let's stay with south for a moment. All right, over to the east.
First time caller, long time listener, KI4SIB, KI4SOR, good evening, Paul.
Wow, good to have you in there. Do you have any woes out there where you are?
Any what?
Any woes? Ice woes?
No, I mean, everybody stayed home on my street. Didn't move very much, and the road's clear. Have been for a couple of days, but no, we got lucky. Nobody had any problem.
Yeah, you must be living right.
I guess, I don't know. But hopefully I'll see y'all Saturday.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. By the way, I'll make sure to get it out. I want people to see that pile. I'll be 77 in a couple of months, and me and the XYL were dragging out limbs over the period of 2 days for. I'm sure there's a ton of limbs and trunks and sawed up wood and you name it.
Oh yeah. I had some trees fall out of limbs fall out of a couple of trees in my backyard. It made a big mess, but something that can't be picked up and gotten rid of. I just hate to lose the limbs because they were in some tall pine trees, and I was going to use some of them for antenna use, but looks like I may have to rethink my positioning on that exactly and come up with a different plan, but I'll make it work somehow or other.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by this because I know that in other parts of the country, let's say the northern part of the country, everywhere from Montana to Maine, there's people with pine trees. And I don't think they lose as many of conifers like that in a storm as we did here.
They must go on stronger up there than we do down here.
No, I really don't know. I was thinking about that as I saw the mess out there and, driving around today. And so I don't really know. Well, anyway, I hope you and Stephanie doing okay.
We're doing great. We had company over here for about 3 or 4 days. Her daughter came and bunked down with us and through all the bad weather, but they went home last night, and all is right with the world, and we're just glad that we were able to accommodate what they needed and all that kind of thing. But I'm looking forward to the 4th of February with cautious optimism. I'm scared to death on the one hand and have faith in the doctors on the other. So wish me luck.
When's that coming up?
February the 4th.
Okay. Well, I'll see you. Hopefully, I'll see you before then.
Oh yeah, I'll be at breakfast Saturday morning if it all goes well.
Okay. David, if you're listening, I got your phone number. And Richard, I do hope you're well. I pray that you do well. I pray that you get to the breakfast.
Well, I'm going to do my best. Y'all carry on. Appreciate what you're doing down there, Paul. 7-3, God bless. Catch you when I can. Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo, back to net.
Very good. That's Richard and Stephanie in Lebanon. KI4SIB and KI4SOR. Who else is east? Did Michael fall asleep? Michael.
KM4YRF.
I was just wondering because you fell asleep. Or you didn't fall asleep, you just did. For your own net, so I just wondered if you did that again.
Oh, actually, we were doubling.
Ah, okay. Sorry about that. Everything going okay at your end, though?
Yeah, everything is going good here. We finally got the ice off the front steps and the sidewalk, but the driveway is still solid ice.
Yeah, that's. I noticed today in the areas where the sun rarely hits, it's still solid ice.
Well, Thomas brought home some ice melt from work, and we put that on the sidewalk. And with the little bit of sun we got today, that really helped. And my daughter she was a real champ. She got out there and worked like a dog to get the sidewalk all clear for me.
So her foot isn't bothering anymore?
Yes, but she was determined. She was going to get out there and do something. And I tried to get her not to, but she wouldn't listen, and she did it, and I'm glad she did it now.
Yeah, well, I felt the same way. I mean, my neighbor says, how's it going? I said, well, it's almost 77 years old. I don't really think I should be dragging lumber around like this.
No, but that was one heck of a pile.
Oh, yeah, you saw that pile. That's, man. And it was a pain. It was just a big pain. And then, anyway, just a lot of work, as you can imagine. Anything else for the net, Mike?
No. Did you have June pulling it with a rope?
Which on the ice floe there?
On the limbs. I figured you had her hooked up like a mule, pulling limbs.
No, she was helping me do a lot of things. I mean, a lot. I mean, really, she was pulling stuff that she would grab a limb and pull it down when it was that needed to come down further, and then I'd reach up there with a handsaw and chop it off where I could, and we had a lot of that going on. I don't even like thinking how much work that was. Man, it tore me up. It just was so funny how much work it was. Maybe it wasn't for a younger man, but it was for me.
Well, I commend you for getting done what you did. That was fantastic.
Well, you know the deal, though, Michael. An ordinary man wouldn't be able to handle it.
That I do know. Thank you for doing what you do, Paul. Back to net control.
Very good. I'm not ordinary, but I'm not extraordinary. Well, that was Mike, KM4YRF. He's a fellow who very ably fills in for me on the nets, and that's KM4YRF here in Mount Juliet. Who else is east? Wow, I just felt like I got hit by a blast of 440 volts. Who was that? Who was it? Can anybody else? Was that discernible, or was that just me?
I can hear it.
You heard?
Too, real well.
You heard it well? Well, all I heard was noise.
Well, I mean, I heard the noise well.
Oh, okay. Let's try that again. Whoever had all that noise. I don't know what that was. It was really loud though. Well, if you get it fixed, come back. Who else is east? How about north?
KD4CVE.
KD4CV. So it was really loud to you as well, Greg?
I could hear it pretty good, whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Can't tell. Unless I hear somebody talking, I have no idea who it is. You must have survived pretty well up there in Hendersonville.
Barely, and literally barely. I think I told you Sunday afternoon I heard the wind kicking up, and I stepped out back, and you could just hear crashing and cracking all over the place, big limbs falling. And I said, well, I wouldn't take the trash out. I took the trash out to the can and walked back inside directly upstairs, which takes about a minute to tell Jenny, you got to come listen to this. And we heard some loud noise, and I came back, and there was like a 400-pound tree trunk with the sharp end, the jagged trunk end right where I was standing 60 seconds before. I mean, it would have been a killer.
Oh, yeah. And they would be. Those are called widow makers, aren't they?
It's crazy.
Yeah. I've still got 3 limbs up in that big maple tree that are stuck up in the tree, at least for now. And I'm afraid to walk under it now.
Yeah, we have a couple that's where we never walk, but she's wanting to get the pros out and pull them down. And I don't think I'm going to tackle. I have so many big tree limbs down. I don't think I'm going to tackle it myself.
Okay. I could send over the XYL.
No, that's fine. I don't have the tools, unless she brings tools.
Got a chainsaw? I don't think she knows how to operate it, though. I got a hand. Hey, listen, I had what's called a Stanley Tool Company, Fat Max. It's a rough cut saw. It was great for cutting the smaller limbs rather than dragging around the chainsaw.
Yeah, I have an electric pole saw that will handle 4-inch limbs comfortably, but I have some that are a foot or bigger that it's just not going to do it.
I got to say though too, as crazy as this sounds, it was really good exercise.
Yeah, I may do the front. We had a nice, beautiful magnolia, even though I don't care for them, but it had a nice height and shape, and it's awful now. And there's magnolia limbs everywhere. I'll probably tackle that myself because it's near enough to the road. I can drag it in that pile, or they'll come by and pick it up for free.
Yeah, well, that's what's nice. Mount Juliet picks them up for free as well. Like I said, I've got it. My wife actually looked at the pile. And she goes, "Are you sure they're going to pick up all this?" I go, "They did it before, after the tornado and after the derecho winds."
Yeah, I looked up what Hendersonville's. They say a 10-foot by 10-foot pile, and you put out as many piles as you want, but for their machine to comfortably pick it up, that's what they want.
Yeah, I got you. Well, let's hope it all works out. Even if in fact, what was interesting at Mount Juliet, I was already prepared before the storm. Oh, no, I wasn't quite prepared. I promised myself that Sunday I would cut up the limbs I had, drag them out to the street. And it wasn't a whole lot to drag out to the street. And then the storm hit, and of course they still said that they're going to pick up this week in our zone. And I'm thinking, there's no way they're going to even get through our zone in this week. Maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's at best.
Yeah, I know it's going to be a mess for them. Well, not a mess. It's just going to be a lot of work for them. And this pile of wood is going to be going to be sitting out by the street here. I'm pretty sure it's going to be there for 2 or 3 weeks. So I may have more time to gather up some more of the crap I need to get rid of. Because I still have a couple of decorative trees out back that one of them's dead, and I'm not sure about the other. Anyway, anything else for that, Greg?
Nah, other than I've been procrastinating on getting the gas generator and the kerosene heater, but I'm gonna knock that out here pretty soon. It's been on my list.
Yeah, I hear you. Like you heard what Rick went through. He ran out of gas on his generator after a couple of days, and he had to go to a hotel anyway. And that's the dilemma. How much gas can you save at any given time?
Yeah, my neighbor's been running it for 5 days now, 4 or 5 days. Like some of my neighbors lost power. I guess the limbs took out the line going to their house or something, some such or whatever. But anyway, I'll let you get the next one, KD4CV.
Yeah, that's Greg, KD4CVE. He's in Hendersonville. Yeah, this kind of a storm, this kind of an event, it's one of those almost like a once in, I don't know whether it's 50 years or 100 years. I don't know. I'm sure they've had storms here. I don't know if they've had them this bad, because this really obviously tore up the populated areas pretty bad, and the remote areas like in Joelton, Ashland City, it tore them up even worse. And man, a lot of people suffering this week. I didn't realize it was that many people still without power. I just I told my wife to get the TV off. I think it's Channel 4. I think it is, because I don't pay any attention to local news. But she had it on, and it was on continuously Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And I said, how many times can they tell me not to put a generator inside my house? I mean, I heard it. Like, why couldn't they just put a moving cry on the bottom of the screen and tell me these silly things? Because they kept repeating the same thing. Please don't go out on the road. Please don't drive fast. Please don't. Just stop. Just stop. Just tell me the news, weather, and sports, man. Anyway, who else is north?
KQ4, OMI.
Hi, Danny. I sound like an old curmudgeon, but they kept repeating the same crap, and a lot of the people that were out there, you know, the reporters, 80% of them were women, and they kept saying the same crap themselves. Well, we got another tree down here. Oh, good. I needed to see another down tree.
Yeah, I had the Weather Channel on. They were just, I don't even think they were live. I think they just recorded an hour and just played it over and over.
Well, I have contended that for many nights' news, you could have old stock news you could stick up there and nobody'd know the difference.
Yeah, well, you know, I was born and raised in San Diego. You could even do that with the weather out there.
Oh, I'm sure that's right. San Diego, or even I guess Los Angeles is similar, isn't it?
Oh yeah, a little warmer in LA, but yeah, San Diego's closer to the ocean, so you get the cool breezes.
Yeah, that's. But sometimes they really do have some extraordinary weather and weather type events out there for sure.
Yeah, so the weatherman has to work like 4 days a week.
Maybe less. No, I'm just talking about like when I hear about the landslides and the floods and especially when there's a rain thing, and then when there's droughts, I hear about, you know, it's just interesting to hear they go through crazier stuff than we do sometimes.
Oh yeah, they get those fires. We've been burned out a few times by them.
Yeah, no, I was really, I don't want to say shocked. I mean, I grew up in up in a climate that has snow and ice and all that stuff regularly, but I can't remember ever having one that was this bad where I grew up.
Yeah, no, the ice is just terrible. All the trees are down here. And, you know, that's a good thing about an HOA is we don't have to do anything about it. And the other good thing is all our power lines are underground, so you know, we didn't have any problem with power.
Oh, yeah, that's great. There is one thing where I grew up in Niagara Falls, because of the constant mist from the falls. Now that was not at my house, but it was out because they're a couple of miles away from my house. But in the park and all along around the falls, the trees are all distorted from the constant mist and the limb problems. So a lot of them look like they're just like dwarf trees, you know.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. My dad went out there. He got married to his fourth wife, I think, out there, and it was cold, misty, and icy. And I was like, man, you went north in February. I mean, what do you expect?
Well, they on the American side, they close off a portion of the state park because they don't want you going over the bridge to what's called Goat Island. It's on the other side of the American Falls to get closer to the Horseshoe Falls because it's just too dangerous. There's so much ice you can't even get over. It's unpassable.
Oh yeah, and it's steep. I mean, it just drops right off there like a waterfall, I guess.
It does, but we used to love going down there in the winter because to us it was just like a big, wonderful winter park.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I'd go down there though. I mean, all that ice, cliff come down, and oh man, you'd just be done.
I don't know. We didn't do anything dangerous though. We used to go across the Rainbow Bridge over to Canada, and because it's a couple hundred feet above the water, and we go there with big snowballs and just watch them fall down. But unfortunately, all they were hitting was an ice bridge because there was so much mist from. It would develop a giant. I'll just call it. It's almost like a what do you call it? It's almost like a glacier underneath there. It's just solid ice.
Last time we went that way, the wait was so long that we ended up going to the entry port south there on the freeway. But yeah, that Rainbow Bridge was terrible. We used to go over it all the time, but last time we just couldn't even get close to it.
Yeah, well, things have changed over time. Because of the immigration problems as well as the I can't remember. COVID started all the problems, and then they started getting tougher on getting across and getting into and out of the United States with like for instance the commercial traffic. It's always packed now.
Yeah, it's really changed.
Yeah. We used to just fly across there when I was young. It was just no big deal, and it was just kind of unless you were a suspect in something, it was just very routine. Just where are you going, how long are you going to be there, what are you taking with you, and where were you born? I mean, that was the whole routine.
Yeah, we'd go across, and I mean, just for an afternoon, and then on the way back, you had to count your bottles of booze and say, "Oh, we've been here for 4 nights."
My grandmother, wonderful, sweet lady, one of the best grandmas you could ever have, and she was born in Canada, and she had her naturalization papers. So that when they asked her, she went to Canada a lot, and she'd go to Canada, and they always asked, "Where were you born?" She goes, "Niagara Falls," or in this town in Ontario. And she said, "But I'm a citizen of New York," and so every time they'd ask her to prove it, and so she'd break out her naturalization papers, and she got tired because the papers were getting all worn out, so she just started lying.
Yeah, it's easier.
It was just, what are they going to do? Arrest a 70-year-old woman?
Yeah, probably not. I mean, it was at that time. It was just you just went across, they looked at you, and you went, smiled at them.
Well, as kids, we used to go over there a lot just to have fun. There was a lot of things to do in Niagara Falls, Ontario, and we'd go over there on our bicycles. And I think it was laughable, really, because it was 10 cents to cross the bridge with a bicycle.
Huh? Yeah, but we used to go across it all the time when we had a place up in Sodas Bay. We'd go there all the time. But yeah, it just changed really after 911. I think is when it changed.
I think you're right. I think it was that was the deal, because they always were. I'll just say careful, because I had a friend of mine who worked for the Bridge Commission, and they really were crazy even then in the 60s with drugs, because drugs were transported across that border. I don't know how much, but they were really careful about it.
Yeah. We usually just took the freeway. It was a lot easier, and and they were just nonchalant. They just waved it through.
Yeah. Anything else with that there, Daniel?
No, I got my antenna. My antenna was shoulder height. Now it's back to 31 feet, so I'm doing a little bit better. But no, thanks for doing what you do. KQ40, my back to net control.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't have any antennas in the trees. That was Daniel. Kilo, Quebec 4, Oscar, Mike, India in Hendersonville. Who else is north?
WB0NOO.
There was a little bit double, but you won there, Mark.
Okay. Well, I'm one of the lucky ones over here. I think we lost power for about 2 minutes, and that was it.
Wow, they just didn't want to leave you out.
Yeah, I guess. Both of my kids are still without power. One And my other daughter lives up in East Nashville, and she's days away from getting back in her house.
Wow. And they say Puerto Rico had infrastructure problems.
Yeah. Well, you know, you get $2 billion and use it for sidewalks.
Well, you'd be lucky if they did build sidewalks with it. No, you know what I'm saying is, no, I'm just, it just seems hard to imagine there was that much damage, but obviously we had very little here other than just trees. You know, that was really the majority of the problems, at least here in Wilson County.
Yeah, my yard looks like a battlefield, and it's got limbs all over it. Took my off-center fed dipole down, but I haven't even been able to get out in the backyard to get to it to see whether it broke it or just pulled it off of the tree.
Yeah, it was funny. We were clearing some of that stuff out, and my neighbor across the street, he sent his 2 boys over to help us, and we were nearly done. We were just, you know, on the last 5%. And my wife said, no, you guys go back. No big deal. And while I'm walking up the driveway, which still had a lot of ice on it, what do? Right in front of the kids after I worked most of the day, I fell on my butt.
Oh, man. Well, I have not been out of the house since that drizzle started Saturday, I guess, or Friday night. I've been to the edge of the door and I've looked, but it's just literally, it's 1.5 inches of ice everywhere around my house. So I'm just going to let it'll melt. I got enough food for a few days.
Oh yeah, that's what we were. No, we were out Thursday night, and then we didn't get out again until last night. We hadn't left the house.
Yep, I understand. Oh well. Well, my wife is getting her nails done tomorrow, so that's going to be our big outing, I guess. I'll probably take her over.
Yeah. Well, all the roads are clear, so I think you're in good shape.
Yep. All right. Well, I wish everybody well. Stay warm. I'll be listening. WB0NOO.
Yeah, very good. That's Mark. Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar up there along the Cumberland, near the Cumberland River, the beach. And that's Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar. And Steve checked in remotely from Kentucky, K4WKU. I did not hear him, but I think he had to run. Who else is north?
KN4ERI.
Did Goodlettsville survive?
It did. You know, my power went out for about 31 milliseconds. I am so lucky I live right across from the substation. However, I do have this big tree branch that is on top of the power line that goes to our pole. So if that thing goes, I'm a goner.
Huh. It is amazing how the stuff you don't even expect to happen happens when there's a storm like that.
That's for sure. I put that on the list for, after it's all nice again, I definitely got to do a little tree trimming because this power line goes right through the middle of this tree. And, in the summertime it's not that big a deal, but wintertime, that's kind of a big deal.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can survive a long time in the summer. I mean, I went that week without power here, and that was in March, and we were bundled up because March can be pretty cool here, but we survived okay, and we had no power, but we just used flashlights and lanterns and didn't even go anywhere, really. Oh, yeah, I used to go get coffee over at McDonald's in the morning.
Yeah, there you go. Probably the worst thing happened is my HF antenna. I have a sky loop that's about 550 feet that goes around the property. A tree branch took that out, and it broke in a couple of places, and I would love to have it back, but it's definitely not worth trying to go on the roof or do anything with it now because it's got like 1 inch of ice on it. So, and my other antenna, for some reason, not really working. It's probably got too much ice or something else happened to it. So, other than that, I'm all good. Very fortunate.
Yeah, it took out my halfway 160, or it's actually a full wave and fed 80, but and I expected it to go. I really did, but man, a 200-pound limb it takes out wire real easy.
That's for sure it does. It's funny because I found out my 6 meter I can do 30 meter FT8 on it when I get it tuned. It was only putting out about half power, but I was able to do some FT8 30 meters on my 6-meter antenna.
How is it performing?
You know, it was okay. So my radio said it was about at 100 watts, or let's say 80 or 90 watts, and the radio was probably putting out about 45 to 50 watts. But it worked good. I made good contacts. I think I got Aruba and Brazil and a few other ones.
Yeah, it's funny. The stations in Brazil, even in Venezuela, it's like they're hard to miss.
Yeah, no, they were probably doing the heavy lifting. They probably had a gigantic beam or something, but because obviously all I had was a little, you know, I got a vertical that's maybe up at like 60 feet or something here, and it wasn't even on the right band, but it was working.
I was during a contest. I was ages ago. I was still in Florida, and I was working QRP in a station in Brazil. He gives me a good signal report, and he was just booming in. And I thought, oh, cool. And it was a good, you know, just short little QSO because it was some kind of a contest there. Everybody else was in. I was just playing around. And then I looked him up on the web. And they got like a couple of 200-foot towers and legal, well, I don't even know what their legal limit is in Brazil. It's probably unlimited, you know. And I said, man, oh, man.
Yeah, that's it. But you got it, you know, so that's cool. You got it.
Well, again, he was doing all the heavy lifting. I mean, I had 5 watts.
Exactly, but he had a good enough antenna to get you, so it's cool. You made the contact, so that's cool. All right, well, back to you. Appreciate what you do there, Paul.
Very good. That's Eric in Goodlettsville. Kilo November 4 Echo Romeo India. Who else is north?
KE4TWI.
So how did Possum Town survive the event?
Now we didn't lose power for a second, so no complaints here. I got a suggestion though. At the beginning of the net, you should ask for first-time check-ins, short on time, and the impatient.
Yeah. Or ask if anybody, because you didn't see the first part, did you? When I was talking to nobody.
Well, about 60 seconds in, I did click on to the YouTube channel.
Oh, maybe that's what I did that on purpose, so everybody check out the YouTube channel.
No, everything's good here. I had one tree on a fence, but I mean, that does not even register as a complaint. I've got people I work with who have no power, who have family shacking up in their house, so and they're in the Hermitage area, so no complaints here whatsoever.
No, Wilson County seemed to be spared from the real serious problems.
Yep. I think today, with the sunlight and it rose above 32, the glaze of ice on my antenna at the tower mostly went away. But, I mean, not worth complaining about. It's a hobby. We survived. All right, KE4TWI.
Yeah, that was Wes. Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey India, and he's in Possum Town. Who else is north?
November 8, November Hotel Tango.
Hello, Hayes. You sound pretty good.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, we did. Power never went out here. I'm good. So I was kind of paranoid about the whole thing, but hopefully I'm out of the woods. And I did notice that, as he was saying, some of the ice melted, but I actually went out last night. First time I had to scrape the ice off my car, and it was coming in like big sheets that were staying together. It was actually like really satisfying. I ran the car for a while, and then it was all coming off in these huge sheets that were like, I was throwing them down on the driveway, and they were breaking like big sheets of glass or something.
Yeah, I'll have to send pictures of that too. I said I don't want to have. I said it was going to be a problem, and by I guess it was Saturday. I went out, and before any of the ice and snow got collected, I covered both cars with this big sheet, this big roll of black visqueen. Covered both cars, and took it off at the end of the storm yesterday, and everything's fine.
Nice. Yeah, I've lived here 9 years. I've never seen anything like this, but I'm sure this has happened before. This can't be the first time.
Well, what astounded me is how interesting the weather is. I mean, what can happen during the weather. Here I was, I looked out after it had snowed, and then there was some ice that formed. It was forming in the slush, because everything was slushy at that point. I think it was on Saturday evening. I went out and I was videoing it, and I couldn't help it. You couldn't even see it on the camera, and that was the fine mist. It was more like a fog type mist like a fog machine, of mist coming down. And I remember remarking, I go, man, this is going to come down and make one hard crust on this earth.
Yeah. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, it was, and the ice was thick enough in my yard to almost walk on it without crushing through it sometimes. That was pretty crazy. I did have some branches fall and they damaged my shed a little bit, but it's salvageable.
Yeah, I was a couple of times I was slipping and sliding while handling the chainsaw and the saw and getting around the yard because it was real crusty, as you said, out there. And it looked, if I had a video on me all the time, sometimes it looked like I was doing a happy dance out there,
Yeah, my driveway parts of it were like just a sheet of slick ice. I'm lucky I didn't fall, but I don't know. Like as somebody was saying, the parts that the snow were hitting are a lot melted, but where it's more shaded, it's still pretty much a sheet of ice. And of course, it's refreezing tonight. Tomorrow's supposed to get up 35 though.
Yeah, as long as it's sunny. I don't know if it's going to be cloudy or not, but the sun today burned off a lot of that ice that was on. By the way, one of the things that was interesting was it's no big deal taking branches normally out to the curb. But it's a real big deal when the branches are completely covered with, the ice was bigger than the branches on each of the sheets, And so it's like you were constantly, every branch weighed a lot. And so what a pain that was.
Yeah, it does weigh stuff down. That's why they break. Yeah, while I'm looking at the weather forecast, it's saying cloudy tomorrow. So probably not much will melt.
No, because we actually, if you look at the 10-day forecast, is we're never going to get out. I don't think we ever stop having overnight lows below freezing.
Yeah, like even Thursday. Well, let's see. Thursday, mine has all the way next, not this Friday, but the next one. It says it's going to be 51 in the day. That'll take care of everything. 51 and sunny, but that's a long way away.
Pretty much. Yeah, I went out there. I've got a regular master, lock on the gate going to the yard. So I went out there to open it up so I could start the work with the logs and the debris. And I couldn't get the key in the lock because it had rained and misted, and the lock was locked up. I had to go out and get one of those. I've got an industrial little heat gun. I had to stand out there 10 minutes just to melt all the ice out of the inside of the lock.
Yeah, I remember having stuff like that happen in Ohio where I had to get boiling water and pour it over my keyhole of my car to even get in the car. That was pretty frustrating. Then your hands start getting all numb.
Well, that's the best part. They have the numb fingers and can't feel anything.
Yeah, the Cub Master of my kid's old Cub Scout troop grew up in Fairbanks, Alaska, where it can get down to negative 60 or negative 70. I can't imagine what that would be like. It's cold, and it's cold enough here, and even in Ohio was. But yeah, man, I can't imagine the logistics. But I'll turn it back over now. K4PEW. This is November 8, November Hotel Tango. Back to net.
Yeah, well, again, that was Hayes, November 8, November Hotel Tango, and it's interesting. It doesn't really, if it's 10 degrees outside, it's cold, and if it's 20 degrees below zero, it's cold. It's not necessarily colder to you if you're bundled up tight. It's rough on what portions are exposed, like your face. But you don't necessarily, even when it's 10 degrees out, most people don't go inside and do anything. You're not unless you really have to. You know what I'm saying? So it's the 60 below, they're pretty much hunkered down like we were. I'm pretty sure for when it gets that cold. I don't know. I've never lived in Alaska, but man, it is rough up there. Anyway, anybody else north?
For November, Papa.
Hello, David. What are you doing?
Just like everybody else, just kind of recovering from, the storm and such.
Yeah, I was just glad I had enough food to keep me happy for the 5 days I stayed home.
Right. Yeah. Well, we had outages for 2 days here. It got pretty rough with the outages around this area. And a little history for those who inquiring about it. This has happened before. 94 was the last time that we had a big ice storm here in this area, which I remember quite well.
Yeah, you must have a lot of. There's some noise really coming in on your signal that I've never heard before. Your signal, it almost sounds like you get a bad signal, but it kind of fades in and out. Do you know what's going on over there?
Well, it could be this radio, or the antenna's still covered with ice, so that might be part of it too.
Well, after I said that, it must have scared you because you're right back to normal.
All right. Yeah. Well, this Yaesu, this particular radio's kind of been problematic over the years too, so it could be just the radio, but yep, sometimes it gives me a little fit.
No, it's not. Now it's perfect. Just I've not heard it. Your signal's always like it is right now, except for just a few minutes ago.
Yep. Well, very good. But I guess that's a report from the White House area here. We still got quite a few that's out of electricity, out kind of on the outskirts of town.
Yep. No, I'm glad you survived. I mean, some people really got it rough. I think you heard earlier that Jolton's still out of power. Might be a few weeks.
Yeah, that's pretty rough right there. That's hard to prepare for weeks out of power. A couple of days that's pretty manageable, but a week or more you've got to be a serious presence.
Well, our situation is worse because I don't have enough wood to keep the house warm for the fireplace, and I got 6 dogs and 2 cats, and me and the wife, and I wasn't sure what we'd do if the power was out, but it was only out for an hour and a half.
Well, I'm glad for the people that didn't see any interruption in service or only a light interruption. I'm glad that they survived that well and didn't have to trick the weather and the cold and everything that comes with it. So I'm glad to hear the people that didn't have any outages, and so the rest of us just survive and move on.
Yeah, very good. Your signal went to crap again. Not crap, it just was noisy. Anyway, that's David in White House. We hadn't heard that signal before, that mess. I think I'm guessing it has something to do with the weather, quite honestly, but maybe not. Whiskey 4, November, Papa, and that's David in White House. Who else is Nora?
It's KD4ZW.
Hey, you're a rural area guy. What's going on up there with your power?
Well, I stayed up till about 3 o'clock Saturday morning watching the radar, waiting for the snow to show up. And it showed that we was getting real heavy snow there on the radar. And I went out the back door and looked, and it wasn't nothing. And I thought, I wonder if it's evaporating before it's getting to the ground, So I go, well, I guess we'll see what's going to do when we get up. This is Saturday morning about 3:30. So I go to bed. I hit bed about 3:30. And I sleep maybe, till about 4:45. I get a good dream in there in that little bit of time, and I wake up, and I look over at the clock, and I notice the clock ain't on. Uh-oh. So I jump up. Sure enough, I look out the window, and it's just black everywhere. No street lights, no nothing. Oh, great. Ain't this something? It had to be off since I went to bed at 3:30. So, I just stay up. I'm awake, I got that dream in, so I'm awake. I stay up. And then the power tries to come on. Maybe it's about 9:30. It comes up and lasts about maybe a total of about 5 seconds or so. And I'm going like, okay, that was kind of good. So at least they're working on it. And anyhow, at about 11:45, the power comes back on, and it stays on. And sometime that afternoon, the county comes up to the road up here, scraping the road off, but they scrape it right down to the pavement. I'm like, well, daggum, And they come back and get the other side. The road's real clear. It's clear. We get a little burst of snow, and it kind of whitens it a little bit. But the next day, the sun's out, and it burns it right off instantly, and the road's been clear out here. Now, the driveway, that's a different thing. It's like 3 school bus lengths long from the mailbox out there to down here to where you come into the patio. And that's just like somebody poured out instant ice. And I mean, it is as smooth. It looked like a pond froze over. And it's just so smooth. And I'm like, golly, so I'm being very careful when I walk out to the mailbox. That's the other thing. The next day I got out there and I cleaned about a half inch of ice off the entire mailbox because there was no way you could open it. And I cleaned it off, called my neighbor down the road I talked to quite a bit, asked her if she wanted me to clean hers off. I went down there and cleaned hers off too. And then I come on back up here. And then when I was making supper that night, right when I was getting the last part of my supper done, heating up my biscuits, we had kind of like a brown out. And right in the middle of heating up them biscuits, that microwave I thought was going to go off. But then the power came back up and it finished heating my biscuits. And so, whoo, hot dog, I'm going to get to eat it. So, and it's been on ever since. Now, my daughter lives on Highway 25 over in Cottontown. She emailed me about 4:30 this evening. They just got their power on. And I'm like, and she said that highway wasn't even cleaned off. And I'm going like, that's a state highway. What's going on? So, but anyway, she said she got her power back on, and that's a good thing. And I think it's going to be above freezing tomorrow. But the problem is they said on the news that we're going to have kind of like fog in the morning, and then it's going to cloud up a little bit. We're not going to have nowhere near the sunlight that we had today. I'm going like, well, great, because I've been opening up the shades on the south end of the house here and letting the sunlight come in. Boy, you'd be surprised how much heat comes through a window with no shades over it. So I've been doing that. One thing I do want to mention was what I seen on Channel 4 News this evening. There was I think it was a mother-daughter in a HOA house. They went, because their power's been out, and bought a generator and some heaters. They spent over $1,500 for this stuff. They brought it back and hooked it up to their house. This is their house in a HOA. And the HOA contacted them and told them cease and desist or you will be fined. These generators are not aesthetically pleasing in this HOA.
Oh, and the whole everybody else had no power as well.
Apparently so. I mean, that was on Channel 4 News. I was thinking, I wonder if anybody else in that HOA was thinking about playing baseball and looking for their kids' baseball bat.
I'm telling you, that's a pretty weird thing to enforce it during an emergency.
I thought that was just commonly uncalled for. And that was on the news. I mean, on Channel 4 News. They had that story about it. They showed that couple generator and stuff like that. And I can't remember if they shut, because I was cooking supper when they were talking about that this evening. And I don't know if they showed the text message or not. I remember seeing a phone on the screen. But I was too busy trying to cook stuff. I glanced over and I was listening to it, and I was like, that's sorry. That is a sorry individual to be carrying on like that.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it. But again, they were just being rigid with the rules. I'm sure that nobody was complaining. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I was really shocked about that. Anyway, everything's been okay. I've been able to eat stuff. I've still got plenty of food and everything. And David, I don't know if you're still listening. Check your fuse holders on that power cord. Unplug the pigtail at the back of the radio and replug it up. And then go to those two little old plastic fuse holders and open them up and check those for tightness on those glass fuses and stuff. That might be what's going on, because it's kind of weird. Your power will be up and then it'll be back down, and that kind of acts like a fuse holder problem. So anyway, I'll hush up and turn it back over to you, I guess.
Very good. That was Carlin. Kilo Delta 4 Victor Uniform Whiskey up Bethpage, Angeltown area. Anybody else north?
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Hey, I just wanted to compliment you on the meme for tonight, and I'm just wondering if you had some help with that.
Yeah, it's called Chat GPT. Yeah, it's interesting what you can do. I actually told them, I wrote it down. You say, give me a video, give me an image with the Cumberland River frozen and ice skaters helping pull the General Jackson that's on skis, or and it doesn't say why. It just on skis. Sure enough, it was good enough for me.
I just wondered if you had somebody giving you advice about it.
No, you just got to word it properly. And no, my favorite was when I asked ChatGPT to make that image of the guys. There's one, if you might remember, there was about 24 guys holding HTs. Remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that one I said I want 24 guys carrying HTs. And then I went, oh man, because I said young, and I said, no, that doesn't look right. It looks like it's Clone City. So I said, give me that same image, but make some of them, older with gray hair. So I did. Give me another one. Then I looked at it again. I go, oh man, everybody in the group's white. So I thought, well, just to be diverse, make it look kind of semi-normal. I said, could you please just take a few of those guys and make them black? And it says, I can't do that.
I bet not.
So I called it a racist, and I gave up.
All right, good deal. Back to net control.
Very good. Anybody else checking in tonight? Any place, anywhere?
Comment.
Yeah, go ahead, comment.
Okay, KF Wendy in. Hey, Paul, if you don't mind, if you would, shoot me a text. You got my number. I seem to have lost yours, sir.
Oh, yeah, I think you might have heard me say I've got your phone number here.
Yeah, I heard you, and I'm assuming that you know what a 3-dog night is, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what my wife was saying when it started to get cold and we were going to end up with this problem. She goes, well, we got 6 dogs. We each have a 3-dog night.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. 7-3, KF Wendy in.
Very good. That was David down there in Reedyville. Well, no, actually today he's in Christiana. That's where he is. I don't think about that. I don't think about that name very much, Christiana. Who else? Anybody else before we move on?
City Port Joanne.
Oh, there you go. What was your delay, man?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I was asleep.
Yeah. Well, I did. I took a nap before the net, and fortunately, I got up in time.
All right.
I forgot to. I even mentioned. I didn't know if my wife was able to get to work, and on what night was that? Anyway, after the first snow, and so it had already turned to ice. So I went out, and I spent I'm going to say 2 hours with a shovel clearing down to the concrete all the slush, and so I could create a path for the cars. And of course, it didn't matter because the road wasn't cleared, so it just didn't matter where we were going.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, but that was a lot of work too. It's just when you're just moving slush, or it's just moving like a giant slushy on the driveway.
Yeah, we did that yesterday in the back parking lot. Cleaned all the parking lot off. Part of it was slush, and part of it was just hard ice.
How did the center work out for? They have an emergency generator there, and they didn't lose power, or what?
They were out till yesterday morning. So they were on generator.
So obviously they had enough gasoline sitting in the tank underground.
It's natural gas.
Ah, okay, very good. Yeah, that's a good choice, I think, for a center like that.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, that was yeah, because every healthcare facility like that has forms of emergency generators, and I used to see them in Florida. Almost all of them were using diesel for the diesel generator, so that was about all they had.
Okay. Well, this one runs on natural gas. I think some time ago it used to be had a diesel tank under it, but they converted it.
Ah, gotcha. Well, diesel generators can be a problem too. I used to have to manage that kind of stuff. Wasn't too bad though. It was interesting to look back though. In the hospital I worked in, it was an all-electric hospital. It had an electric water heater. It was a 600 or 800 gallon water heater. It had, even the steam generators for the operating room equipment, for sanitize, for what do you get? Sanitize, just sanitize, can't get the right word. All of that steam was generated by electric boilers. And man, I would never, if I given a choice, it would all be natural gas for heating up water.
Oh, wow. I forget how big of tanks we got, but we got, they're probably about 500 gallons. Got 2 of them and with 2 boilers.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, wow. That must be a big facility. How many people in there?
214, I believe, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's I don't know how big that would be in square footage, but it's got to be 100, I don't know, 70 to 100,000 square feet.
And 8 stories, so, yeah.
Oh, wow. What's the name of it again? Hit me with that again.
Villa Maria Manor.
Villa Maria Manor. I just was going to look it up on the. I just want to see it because it sounds. An 8-story building up there must stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, it doesn't stick out too much, but it's noticeable. So we're right there on the corner of White Ridge Road and Post Road.
Very good. I'll just take a gander. I was involved in commercial buildings and all kinds of commercial buildings, all kinds of retirement centers, all kinds of those kinds of facilities. Anything from 1-story buildings to I don't know what the biggest one we worked on. It might have been 40 stories. I don't remember now. Anyway, just interesting to me. Anyway, anything else all right with you, Danny?
Oh yeah, that's good. No, I checked on the Tennessee phone that, and I was just sitting there. I guess I fell asleep.
I used to do that in the shack, but I've gotten out of the habit of doing it. I'd sit here in this same chair I'm sitting in now, and I just slide down and lean back my head against the back of the chair. I go to sleep for an hour. It's just funny. That's why I have to have an alarm on my phone.
All right.
Very good. Anything else, Danny?
That's it.
All right, sounds good. That's Danny in Station Camp, Kilo Delta Fort Golf Oscar November. Anybody else? All right, we're gonna look for the guys running snow blowers, dilly-dalliers, spuddlers, landlubbers, sandbaggers, lollygaggers, lurkers, skulkers, slackers, lackeys, toadies, lackards, repeater, chunkers, shape-shifting lizard people, moon landing deniers, and those who believed that people did at least land on the moon. I don't know if they got out or not. Anyway, the moon occupied by aliens, both foreign and domestic. Some of them are mining things on the backside of the moon, according to some people. Flat earthers, and those who deny a flat earth. Flat earth deniers are probably the bigger group, I think. Scanner listeners, SDR donglers, preppers, end-time survivalists, and Bigfoot believers, which are legion. Anybody else? Okay, you got to give me another time. I didn't hear any audio there.
Kilo Oscar 4, Uniform Lima Tango.
Kilo Oscar 4. It's one more time again. I messed that up.
Kilo Oscar 4, Uniform Lima Tango.
Yeah, so how are you doing tonight? I haven't heard from you in a little while. Wow.
Oh, I'm doing well.
Oh, just doing well? No snow problems, no ice problems, no power problems?
No, everything's good over here in Trousdale County, man. I don't know how we survived it, but we did. Everybody else around us had all kinds of issues, but it's been good for us here. So, been very thankful. Been very fortunate. So, Richard and I work with WEMA down there in Wilson County, and we called nets for a few nights there, about 4 nights, 5 nights. So, been doing that, but otherwise been doing okay. I mean, yeah, it got kind of, we kind of figured it might go out. We had the lights blink a few times, but no big problems. So it's been great. Been very thankful.
Yeah, you were fortunate because, like you heard earlier, there's areas in the northwest Nashville area, Joelton and Ashland City, they might be out of power for weeks.
Yeah, it's got to be hard on them folks.
especially, with nothing to back you up there. So, be really hard. And I'm just thankful. Wife was like, have we got everything we need? And I said, it's covered. It's covered. We'll be okay. So if something goes wrong. So we were prepared. Thankfully, we didn't have to use it.
Well, the one thing it's hard to prepare for was what some of the people had when their trees fell on their house. It's hard to prepare for that one.
Oh, roger that. Yeah. And we almost had that scenario a few years ago, and so we just cut everything down close to the house, and because they were all old growth trees anyway, and a lot of it was starting to die back, so we had them cut back and put out some new ones. So very fortunate there.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was really a wake-up call for me, though, too, because of I was planning on, I think it was interesting, the week before my wife said, maybe we ought to trim some of those limbs off that maple tree, and I thought, yeah, I guess we should, but whatever. And then this comes along, and one of those limbs came pounded. I mean, it slammed into the ground right outside the bedroom window. I don't know if you heard me say that earlier, but and I said, I didn't know what it was. I had no clue. I don't know whether we hit by a meteor, man. It was so loud. And then I heard the crack to it, but I wasn't absolutely positive it was the tree. But man, when I went out there and looked with a flashlight, I go, holy crap, it just missed the house.
Yep, and that's pretty much what happened to us a couple of years ago. So that's what they were. They were old maples, and so we just went ahead and took them down.
Yeah, those maples are fairly brittle. Did you ever notice that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Everywhere we've lived has had them, and boy, you're just all the time picking up limbs.
Yeah, and the oak, they seem to survive a lot better.
Well, that's what we put back in place when we cut these down. That's what we put back.
Oh yeah. Well, I noticed. I'd forgotten really. I'd messed with a lot of trees when I was young in the Boy Scouts, and we'd be out doing so and tree recognition and doing all kinds of things with wood and I just never until I grabbed the maple limbs, small maple limbs, for instance, you can break off with ease. Try to break off oak limbs, small ones. You're not man enough to do it for most of them.
That and hickory, it's just not going to happen.
No, it's unreal how powerful they really are. But then again, that's why they make good furniture out of them.
Exactly. Yeah, and elm's about the same way. So yeah. Anyway, Paul, I know you got other things to do and carry on, and it's good to hear you, and it's good to talk to you. And like Richard, I may see you Saturday, so I'm gonna try to make contact with him, and maybe we can run down there together. KO4ULT back to net.
Yeah, very good, Ricky. It's good to hear from you. That's Kilo Oscar 4 Uniform Lima Tango, and Ricky's in Hartsville. Haven't heard from him in a little bit, but it's good to hear from him. And glad things are all right. Anybody else? All right. I didn't realize it was such a good night. Listen to the stories. It's already 25 after 9. Wow. Runs a long time. Well, I appreciate everybody checking in. Let's go over to, we had 23 people, which is pretty unusual for a Wednesday. But I think it was probably just due to everybody's hold up. The radio's been kind of quiet recently. People, I know in my case, I was busy doing a lot of not stupid stuff, just stuff I had to do. Like it or lump it, I had to go out and do things. Even covering the cars was a pain in the butt. Anyway, we're going over to 446, 415, unless I hear somebody screaming.
Wait!
Who's the wait?
That was me, KR480J.
All right, can't catch in. Yeah, can't check in twice, man. That's no good. All right, we'll catch you in a minute, Echo. All right, we're here on 446, 415, looking for check-ins from the west.
KG4ILV.
KG4ILV, that would be Jack in Donaldson. Who else is west? Nobody else west? Going to the south. Nobody south. Who's east?
KM4YRF.
Very good. It's Michael here in Mount Juliet. Who else is east? Well, we're going to have a slow net here. Or not a slow one, but a fast one. Who else is east or north?
KD4GON.
There was a double or triple. I couldn't tell. KD4GON got you in there, Danny. You're doing good. You sound a good signal. KD4GON. Who else is east? North?
KD4VW.
KQ4OMI.
All right, had 2 in there. We got Danny, KD4VUW, and Carlin, KD4. I just gave the wrong one. That was Carlin, KD4VUW, and Danny, KD4OMI. Who else is Nora?
KD4CBE.
All right, 4 KDs in a row. KD4CBE. That's Greg in Hendersonville. Anybody else?
Mark's KQ4.
Oh yeah, I thought that sounded wrong. Thanks for the correction on that. KQ, I should know better. But I am fallible. I think most people realize that every day. Who else is out there, Nora?
KN4ERI.
So there's the infallible guy right there. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Now you got a big signal as always. That's Eric in Goodlettsville. Who else is Nora? Nobody else north? I think we just did. Any place, anywhere?
This is KR4IDJ.
KR4IDJ. Sound real good here on 70 centimeters there. I'll get your name right in a second. Echo. How could I forget that? I will instantaneously know it in the future, but over time it gets better. Anyway, he's got a good signal here on 70 centimeters. That's Kilo Romeo for India, Delta, Juliet. And he's in Goodlettsville. Who else is, anybody else on 70 centimeters tonight?
WB0NRO.
Oh, you're using a different mic, Mark?
Yeah, I am on a different mic.
Sounds like you found the cheapest one in the drawer.
I grabbed the closest. Does it sound bad?
No, it just sounds tinny, like I feel like I'm talking to a guy on an old fighter plane from 1947.
Well, that's where I got this.
No, it just does. It sounds like one of those throat mics.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, yeah, Carlin.
No, I don't know. It's just a little static hand mic. But anyway, you can hear me, so I'm in and out.
Oh, I just thought I'd bust your chops because you always have a good signal. What were you going to say, Carlin?
Got a different radio hooked up.
Oh, okay, I got you. Is Carlin, you had something for me?
I was going to say, he sounded like telephone line. If you ever heard that song, Telephone Line.
Oh, yeah, very good. Hold on, Carlin. There was somebody else checking in. Go ahead.
Whiskey 4 November, Papa.
Oh, very good. Very good. You sound good. Is that the same radio, David?
It is.
Yeah, it sounds good here.
Well, give it a minute.
Yeah, I'm with you. What do we have to do to get you to upgrade your radio?
Well, I've got multiple radios, but I just happen to have this one hooked in because I've been monitoring some APRS and just playing around during the during the snow fest there. So, but I've got a 100-watt radio. I usually run on 2 meters.
Well, snow fest, more like an ice fest, man. It was an ice adventure.
Ice baby, right?
I'm telling you, man, that was. I don't think I've ever experienced one quite that bad. Although it may have been something in my youth we had, but I don't remember anything quite this bad. With just the sheer ice and then the crustiness and just made it unbearable.
Made it memorable, though.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I'm just glad we never. If we had lost power, I don't know what I would have done. Because, like I said, with 6 dogs and 2 cats, I guess I'd have to go out and buy some more firewood.
Right. Well, I hope it's another 32 years before I see another.
Oh, absolutely. Well, these are what makes you humble because you can't control any of that. It's just all outside. It's out of our control.
Absolutely. All right. Well, pick Carlin up and back to that. Thanks, Paul.
Very good. That was David in White House. Did you have anything else to say there, Carlin?
Nope.
Okay, just want to make sure. Just make sure there was nothing earth-shattering going on up there. That was going to hit CNN News up there from Angeltown.
Yeah, well, I've got a bunch of tree limbs back here about 4 inches across and bigger out of that back tree back there, so that's a mess.
Oh, man, that'll make CNN for sure, the highlight reel.
Oh, yeah.
All right, very good. We're going to go over to 28415. 28415, unless I hear somebody else want to check in. Nope, I'm going to 28415. The ice may be off my 10. Am I there? 10? Yeah, the ice may be off my 10-meter antenna. No, wrong. No, hold on. There we go. Apparently the ice is. Hold on. Well, seems to be doing all right. My wow, SWR is almost nothing. This is on a 10 meter. I mean, it was just covered with ice over the weekend. Anyway, who is West? Please come down. KG4ILV. That'd be I'll get it right. That'd be Jack and Donaldson. Who else is West? Or South? Anybody South? Anybody East?
KM4YRF.
KM4YRF. Michael here in Mount Juliet. Who else? He also does a 10-meter night on Sunday night, so be there at 8 o'clock on the same frequency. Who else is East? East or North?
KQ4OMI.
All right, KQ4OMI. There was 2 or 3 or 4 in there. By the way, we got Danny in Hendersonville. Who else? KQ4MI. Who else? I think I heard November 8, November Hotel Tango, and Taze in Hendersonville. There was somebody else. KD4GON. Danny in Station Kings. That's where he is. Who else? That's KD4GON. Who else? KD4CVE. That was Greg in Hendersonville. Who else?
KN4ERI.
Very good. KN4ERI. That's great. It's Eric in Goodlettsville. Who else? We're going to start calling this the Sumner County Net. You know, we got always a big crowd up there in the north. Who else? Anybody else north? North or anywhere? All right. We topped out on 8 on the 10 meters. And we're going to go over to 223.415, so we'll see you there. If anybody's left, it's been a long net. Didn't realize how long. All right, we'll see you there. Thanks for everybody being there. K4PEW. This is K4PEW net control for something here. I'm still struggling for a second here. I'm going to switch over. Hold on one second.